This is a video about lessons learned. Well, hello there, it's Beards and Bangers, and today I'm standing here for the last time with Dylan, my MG ZS 180. I think it's the last car I actually purchased. No, it's not quite the last car that I purchased for the channel, but certainly one of the last. It's the car that I've driven the least. And as you may remember from a previous video a couple of weeks ago, I had done a deal with one of my friends, Joe, to come and take the car in exchange for his MG ZR. Now, this is very much a lessons learnt video because I bought this car sight unseen. Why did I buy this car sight unseen? Well, firstly, I mean, look at the colour. It's a monogram MG. So the desirable, if you're into your monograms, you'll understand. If you know, you know. But it's a rare paint scheme, monogram Typhoon. Downward DVL is blue, but it's got pinky, purpley, lilac-y bits in it. So, having just recovered from the flu, I took the train north from Milton Keynes up to Manchester, across Manchester, and then another train. So, look, quite a bit of a journey to get up there. Over 100 quid spent, which is what it is. You can't factor that into costs when you're collecting a car. Drove the car home, really enjoyed it. Took it to a meet-up the next day. Clutch went to the floor. Quite common on these. Didn't think too much of it. Got a Sheddist clutch kit from Discount MG Rover Spares, and yeah, thought great. We'll sort it out. You'll notice the rear door handle's missing. I think I showed you that before. That's where I very quickly jumped in the car to take a friend of mine who was quite seriously unwell to the hospital. Door handle came off again. Typical ZS problem. Still got the door handle. It's in the boot, and thought right. Park the car, so washed the car, Austin washed the car for me, thoroughly dried it off, put it under cover, thought, right, I'll forget about it for the winter and then start work on it during the spring, i.e. now. So was going to do all that, no rush, and then was talking to my friend and he said, would you be interested in swapping my ZR for your ZS 180? I was like, yeah, let's come over, have a look at it, make sure you like the car, we'll talk about it. So I thought, did the deal, shook hands, didn't do any paperwork, thankfully. And I took it down to AJF that day for MOT the following week, and it failed. It failed miserably. So give me 1 sec. I'm going to grab the MOT fail sheet, and I'll talk you through what's actually wrong with the car. And this is where I won't learn my lesson because it's something I just do. I'm an impulsive person. I get a thrill out of buying cars sight unseen, but hopefully this may give you guys some benefit of my foolishness. So I'm not one for getting moody MOTs. I could have easily taken this car to a less reputable garage and got an MOT on it. No problem at all. When it's someone you know, when you know that person's family, you just don't do that. It's not the done thing. So I took it to AGF, where I always take my cars for work to be done, and MOTs and such like. And this is the fail sheet. So there's fewer. We'll start at the bottom and work up. We'll work up in ascending order of gravity of the situation. So monitor repair if necessary. Nail in near side tyre rear. Near side rear petrol pipe corroded near tank. Near side sill cover fitted. So this is very standard with especially the MGZs, where you have got some sill covers and various bits and bobs. So near and offside sill cover fitted, not allowing inspection of outer sill. So that's given with a streetwise ZR, ZS, ZT. You kind of accept that. Their advisories. So had I have kept the car, they're the sort of thing I would get on with and do. Would you take the sill covers off and see if there's rust behind there? Yeah, I think if you're bringing a car back to top spec, then you would. So the minor defects, repair as soon as possible. So again, not a fail. Rear fog lamp with a multiple light source up to half not functioning near side rear. So the fog light was a bit dicky. And brake pipe inadequately clipped or supported near side rear. So that's just a little kind of plastic clip that just holds the brake pipe in place, probably against the rear arm. That's missing. It's just an advisory. If something catches it, they can't say they've not told you. This is where the bad news starts. So repair immediately major defects. So these are things that you've got to do to get the MOTs. This is why we've got to fail. So windscreen washer provides insufficient washer liquid front. Okay, you can deal with that. That's a, you know, bit of fettling, not so bad. However, this is where it gets a bit serious. Subframe mounting prescribed area excessively corroded significantly, reducing structural strength near side front. So that's here. So it's the floor where basically the sill meets the floor. Subframe suspension component mounting prescribed area excessively corroded, significantly reducing structural strength offside front inner wing. So it's kind of down here. Anti-roll bar linkage insecurely attached near side front. Okay, that's a common thing on an MGZ, so that's something you can do. Other passenger door cannot be opened, so that's the broken door handle. Yeah, parking brake ineffective on one side, offside, rear, and parking brake efficiency below requirements. So all of those things you'd have to do. So for me to put that right and to keep the deal alive, would have, you know, we're welding. This car's been welded before. It is what it is with these cars. We know that a Z, unless it's kept cosseted for its entire life, will need welding at some point. But we're talking, you know, it's going to be 500 quid plus for that. So I'm into this car for what did I pay for it? 950 quid. That's another £500 at least. That takes us up to say 1,500 quid. The rest of the work, we're talking probably 500 quid. So straight away we're at £2,000. And I've then got a ZR on my hands. Is that worth £2,000? In this market, I don't know. So it's, yeah, so I sort of ummed and ahed about it. I rang Joe and I said, look, this is what's happened. You know, can't do a deal. So he took it, you know, very well. I don't believe in being dishonest. Obviously, leave that in the car for him so he can see what he's doing. So we sort of chatted it over for a few days. This week just gone, and I said, well, why not? One option was he could take the car as is, knowing it's an MOT fail, and I would pay him a bit of cash for his ZR. And I thought, actually, do I want another ZR? Not really. I would have done it as a swap, but do I want to pay money for another ZR? No. Biomorphic, you'll see that in a video coming up in the next few days, because I'm going to take that car to the NEC, so I'll be doing a video of that setup day of the NEC, same as I did last year. So that car's just gone through MOT, had to have some money spent on it to do that because the emissions were zeroed. I'll talk about the Biomorphic another day. I want to talk about this car and my experience, you know, in owning this car for a short period of time. So didn't want to pay some money for the ZR, end up with, you know, losing this car and then having another car that I'd probably move on anyway. So just had a bit of a chat, got some advice from Adrian Austin, and I thought, well, if this car as an MOT fail, because it is a monogram and it's a ZS 180 SE, because it's got the sunroof and all the bells and whistles, it's not quite worth scrap value. It's worth a couple of £100 more than scrap value. You know, if this was a standard ZS, I'd probably give 250 as an MOT fail for one of these. But because it is a monogram, because it has got the V6 engine, because it's got the sunroof and some other trick bits on it, it's probably worth a bit more. So I said to Joe, look, you can have the car as is, 500 quid. Great. Easy decision for him to make. So that's what's happened. Shed his clutch clear. I think I paid 170 for that. He can have that for 100 quid. So I've got rid of this car for 600 quid. He's got the car he wants. He's very confident he can find someone to weld it. He's confident that he can do the rest of the work himself. And you can. The shed his clutch kit you can do yourself. All the other bits they're doable. You know, if for someone who's got a bit about them, you know, mechanicking wise, sorted out. So there we are. This is the last time you'll see the ZS in my ownership on the channel. I'm no doubt you'll see the ZS again on my channel, because I know Joe does go to a lot of the shows that I go to. I know he's coming to the Chiltern Hills Rally, so we'll probably see this car at the Chiltern Hills Rally. So it's not the last time you will see Dylan. I know that, and obviously I'll have a look at it when I next see the car. Hopefully once Joe's done all the work to it. It gives him what he wants. He's got himself the makings of a good car for 500 quid. Yeah, he's going to have to spend some money on it, but if this car's pristine, it's worth a fair bit of money. It's, you know, sub 100,000 miles. It's a decent motor, and it's the V6. It's the 180 that everyone wants. What's the lesson learned? Will I learn my lesson to perhaps interesting questions. So should you buy a car sight unseen? I think the obvious answer to that is no, unless you've got photographs of every part of the car, including the weak spots. So on these, it's that bulkhead, it's the I always struggle to say that word, floor pan, and the sills. No, I mean, I know there was an Orange Grove ZR that changed hands last year. I was seriously tempted by it. I did bid on that on eBay, sight unseen, but there was a raft of photographs for it. There were so many photographs for the car. You could see every inch on it. You could see that the car had been looked after. The description was credible. It was someone known in the community. This car's come from outside the community, so it's not that well known. But yeah, will I buy another car sight unseen? I'm actually going to learn my lesson. It's something I've got to stop doing. I've got, I'm at a point now where I've got the BRM needs work doing to it. It's had some welding done. It's going to need some more body work in the autumn. The headline is doing this, interior bits and doing some electrical work that he's doing. So I need to put some time and money into that, because the BRM is a car that I am now very invested in, now very keen to keep hold of and to make nice, because whilst the market for BRMs, the value of them has plummeted, it would seem, in the last 2 or 3 years, it's a car that I love. They're rare. I bought it because I love them. Biomorphic's going to need some work doing. I've got to finish the ZT off. I've been struggling with the radio, so I've got an audio guy coming in a couple of weeks' time to do some work on that. That's going to have some brake work for its MOT. I probably won't get that car to POL now, I wouldn't have thought, because I need handbrake black plates. If anyone has got a set of either new old stock or new ZT or 75 back plates so I can repair the rear brakes, please do get in touch. I will happily pay you for a set, because discount MG Rover spares are getting them in, but there's a waiting list. They're being re-engineered, but they're an in-demand part because they are so hard to get. So I've got to balance. Yes, I can afford to do all these cars up. I can afford to do this car up, but I don't want to keep throwing money at cars and have too many and kind of be, a bit scattergun approach with putting these cars right. So Poseidon, Bram, Biomorphic, obviously my BMW Daily, I've got to look after that because it's a really good car. And I've got the Mini. Let's not forget, I've got the Mini Cooper that needs to come back up here at some point, and I need to finish that off and decide what I'm going to do with that car. So it's about just reducing the fleet significantly so I've got enough interest for YouTube. Obviously got the Kestrel as well. That's going to, don't know what's going to happen with that car yet, but we'll bring you some content on that in the next month or two. So it's about condensing the fleet and really focusing, being laser focused on the few cars that I got. Poseidon's nearly there. Once that's done, I can just enjoy that car as a bit of it's a show car. Let's be honest about it. I'm not going to daily it. Biomorphic, BRM, again, show cars. So it's about focusing on just those 4 or 5 vehicles rather than what was I up to this time last year, 12, 13 cars. I've got to do some stuff on the Austin Heavy 12, so I'll be doing a video on that fairly soon. That was car, again, not forgotten about it, same as the Mini, not forgotten about it. I'm just spread too thin, so it's about reducing it so I can really invest time and attention in different cars. And from a YouTube point of view, I want to do more test drives, and obviously we've got show season starting, so I'm going to be very busy, a lot of weekends going to the shows that I like to go to and take you along with me on video. So there we are. There's my lesson learned. Will I do it again was the other question. No, I can't keep doing it. So no more sight unseen. It's going to have to be very much, unless I know the car because it's another YouTuber's or someone I know in one of the clubs. No, I've got to go and see cars and give them a really good inspection and test drive before I buy them. So he says, will I err from that path? I don't know. If you want to see if I err from that path and you don't already subscribe, please do so. Hit the bell notification, give us a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, share with your friends, and I will see you again very soon on the next episode of Beards and Bangers. Goodbye.